Bienvenidos, amigos, and welcome back to another episode of More Life Diaries. And today we have 5 tips for you guys if you're planning on visiting beautiful Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. This is part 2 of our tips series that we're doing. We're giving you guys tips and we're checking out a coffee shop at the same time. So come with us today. We're heading to Del Puerto Cafe, a little cool hip coffee shop over in Centro. We're gonna do some stops as we give you guys tips. So if you like the content, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button right down below. Comment down below if you have any tips to share. We don't claim to know everything, guys. We're just sharing what we're living as we're living it here in Mexico. So let's go on this walk. Peace. Just a quick disclosure for all of you. If you're easily offended, this video is not for you. It's not even that we say anything offensive. We're just giving tips based on our experience here. But some people find offense in anything, literally. So if that's you, I suggest you go outside, touch grass, get vitamin D, get well hydrated with water, because this video or YouTube probably isn't for you. Enjoy the video, guys. Tip number 1, ahorita doesn't always mean right now.
What does it mean?
Ahorita, the translation is now, little now.
Little now. Which
is the exact translation. When Mexicans or immigrants that have been living here for too long use ahorita, it means maybe now, maybe never.
Maybe never. Later on.
Yeah, so
right now sometimes.
This is a common saying here, ahorita. People use it all the time and it's very confusing because it never really means now, which is the exact translation, and ahora means now in Spanish. So if ever you're getting any sort of service or you're waiting on someone, or
when does the excursion leave? Ahorita.
Yeah, which could be now, could be 15 minutes, 30, maybe never in some cases. So ahorita doesn't mean right now. And a little bit of a funny story for you guys is that our oldest is actually, pretty fluent now in Spanish. He goes to school in Spanish. He talks with his friends in the neighborhood in Spanish. And whenever his friends are calling for him to go outside and he's inside and he doesn't really want to go outside, he yells back, ahorita. So even he knows it doesn't really mean now, it means maybe.
It's a very non-committal.
Never. Yeah. He uses it in a non-committal type of way when he doesn't really feel like going outside.
It's like, yeah, be right there.
So he really understands the meaning of that word, but there's a lot of memes online like ahorita doesn't necessarily mean right now. And it's just a little funny one to start off the tips video with because it gets really confusing for people that might translate it as right now. Let's go.
Let's go on ahorita.
By the way, right now we're heading up to Gastronomica. From the market, we bought some mangoes and we're heading all the way up to Gastronomica and we're gonna head back down to Centro. This is a really nice walk if you want to get your steps in. Uphill, I'm already sweating a little bit, so by the time we hit the coffee shop, my shirt might be fully transparent, but hopefully not. And we're gonna give you guys a walking tour of exactly what we're walking today, because it's just a really nice way to get your little exercise in. And there's so much beauty to see up here as well. second tip we have for you guys is that you will encounter a lot of different types of bugs. Ants being the most problematic.
Yes, so it's pretty common to have ants in your home, on the counters, this type of thing. It's really hard once they're there to get rid of them. So basically what we did in our last place, which we had a lot of ants, was we kept everything in the fridge or freezer. We didn't leave any food, even stuff that you would normally just keep in a cupboard. Once that package was open, we would keep it in the fridge, which is hard sometimes because the fridges can be small here. But that is one way to help reduce the amount, is to keep those counters squeaky clean and keep your stuff in the fridge.
Yeah, that includes rice, spices, flour, anything that you would normally leave out back home or just kind of roll up or tie up. We tend to just keep in the fridge. We put bananas away because there are a lot of fruit flies, especially now. But ants is the most problematic, and it's really random. Like, our place now doesn't have that many ants, knock on wood. But my parents that are right next door to us have a serious ant problem. They can't even keep their garbage out because within a few hours the garbage is absolutely filled with ants. And another one to look out for, which isn't that bad, is another one to look out for, which isn't as bad as ants, is cockroaches.
So the cockroaches back in Toronto are these little things, and when you see them, it's an issue because that means you have an infestation of cockroaches. You have to get someone to fumigate. It's a whole thing. Here, they tend to be really big and creepy, but usually if you see them in your home, they just kind of lost their way. You kill it and it's gone. They don't live in your place. They just kind of go through an open window, or even sometimes the drains.
Most of the time they're dead. They fall on their back and they can't flip back over. So 90% of the time we find them, they're already dead.
Not sure how they survived since the dawn of time.
They seem to die pretty easily, and they're not that bad. So we find one in our place maybe once a month. They typically are more so in the outdoors area.
But note, ants like them too. So if you kill one, you better throw it away because the ants will come for them. Another issue that can happen is weevils, this thing called weevils, which I never heard of, and they tend to, I guess, lay eggs and then hatch inside flour, rice, any type of powdered dried food. So one way that you can do it to get rid of them, I guess if their eggs are already there, if you freeze whatever it is for 24 hours, just keep it in the freezers, it will kill everything, and then they won't hatch, and you can bring it out of the freezer. I've even had friends who bought something straight from Costco and they open it up and they're already in there. So usually if I buy flour, I just stick it in the freezer for 24 hours and then take it out just in case there's something in there.
We might have eaten a weevil or two, but we don't know. It was dead. Probably delicious.
But you cook them. If you cook the flour, then and then whatever, you freeze it and you cook it, it's all good.
She's sick.
Extra boost.
Third tip is about feces en la calle, in the street.
Dog and cat, not people.
And human, perhaps.
No.
You will encounter on your walks here animal feces in the street. That is due to obviously the street dogs, the street cats.
They're just roaming around, so when you gotta go, you gotta go. Typically, if it's outside our place, we are responsible for cleaning it up, or the rain, if it ever comes. That's nature for you folks, so watch where you step.
Watch where you step. My shoes have taken a lot of abuse because I don't always look, so look down and look straight forward to avoid the cars as well.
Mark and Callie's feet are like magnets for dog food. For some reason, they always manage to find it and step in it.
Another issue here is that some people do let their dogs to kind of go go out and roam free and they don't pick up after the animals. So that's also an issue here, an issue in our area for sure. So yeah, just keep an eye out, watch where you walk, because it could ruin a good day.
And a good carpet.
And a good shoe.
And a good shoe.
All right, number 4 for you guys is if you're taking the plane to Puerto Vallarta and you clear customs, there's a whole row of taxis and timeshare scams and tours. Don't get anything there as soon as you get into the general big main area of the airport. There are cheaper taxis there where you'll pay a lot less. And also a little trick for you guys is, if you don't have too much luggage, you cross the bridge, which is on the left-hand side once you leave the main area of the airport, and you go to the other side of the street where you can get an Uber and significantly cheaper taxis just to be on the opposite side of the road. So it gives you a little bit more options. A lot of people are confused if they can get Ubers at the airport, which you can't, but very close by you can. And the taxis from the airport, as all airports, are generally more expensive, so do expect to pay more. And number 5 on the list, last but not least, be careful with the waves and the tide.
First of all, one of the things we always will like find a nice beach and we'll be like, yeah, guys, come with us. We'll invite friends. We're like, it's so good for the kids to swim. The waves and the tides change. You know, it's never the same beach twice, kind of thing.
Yeah, they change day by day, week by week. So if you're here on vacation for a short time and the waves are aggressive, don't risk it, because you never know when there's going to be rip tides. You never know when there's going to be a surprise wave that just comes and takes you out. There's been many drownings recently because of the king tide in PV. So just don't risk it. If it's a red flag, it means it's peligroso. Swim at your own risk, but definitely be careful, because riptides you can't see and the waves have been super aggressive here. So yeah, don't risk it is the best advice we can give you. And whenever we give you guys a life-saving tip, our best advice is to just look at what Mexicans are doing around you.
Specifically the locals, right? Like the people who are from here, they know what to look for and how to tell if there's a strong undertow. If there's a lot of people in the water, it's generally going to be safe.
Yeah.
If there's no one in the water, like I would proceed with caution and definitely not let your kids go in there.
If there's no one in the water, I would simply not risk it. Don't be the first one to go in there. Don't be the hero. Just chill on the beach, go by the pool. If there are some people swimming in the water, then it's probably pretty safe to do so. But always do make sure that at least people are around, so that if anything happens, someone will see you, someone can get help. This is a really serious thing here. The strong waves, the strong tides. So just really do be careful if you're coming here and swimming in the ocean.
And if you do get stuck out there, swim sideways until you can get in.
Swim sideways, parallel to the beach until you can finally get in, and maybe learn how to float. Kathleen can't float, unfortunately, so she don't go swimming.
She don't float.
She don't float. Let's get coffee. guys, that's all we have for you today. 5 tips if you're coming to Puerto Vallarta, part 2 of many. Drop your tips down in the comment section below. We're going to keep this series going as long as we can. Give you guys tips. Check out a coffee shop every single time. Cafe del Puerto was excelente. Coffee was good. The galletas were excellent. Buymeacoffee.com if you want to support our caffeine addiction. But in all seriousness,
Enable us.
it helps fund these videos. We take the money from your generous donations and we put it towards creating content for you guys. So buymeacoffee.com/morelifediaries. We appreciate every single one of you. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already.
And to everyone that said hi to us on our walk today.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for
Hi
stopping.
back at you.
Hope you enjoy your trip.
This is our journey. More Life Diaries. Peace.